Okay, we're all here streaming on every platform known to man. Welcome to Petey Aprendendo Português. It's the Petey. And it looks like we got the notification for this thingy. Did he send me a gift? Oh my god, 6 Cypher has done most of the work. Look at that. Oh man. So we don't have to worry too much about the friend quest. But I will take some precaution as needed. It looks like we got a double XP thingy going right now, so I think we'll begin as needed. But let's see, do we have the flame? Yesterday was 1,252 days, and today is going to be 1,253 days on the day streak. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, here we go. And a shout out to our good friend Helix. He has been a super fan. He's been a fan of our content for quite a while, and he's finally hit his 200-day streak. So Helix, shout out to you. I'm proud of you. And let's check out the day quest stuff. Yeah, I'm going to send that back to you. Give me the sugar. Okay, he sent me a bunch of double XPs. So hopefully we got it. Is it on? Yes, it is. Okay, we're burning our stuff over here. So I think we're on section 3. I kind of want to do problem with my pasta first. But we'll do, yeah, you know what? We'll do a daily refresh. Get that going. Personalized practice, 20 XP. Here we go.
Ele ficaria feliz em ouvir isso.
Ele ficaria feliz.
Ficaria feliz. Ele ficaria feliz em ouvir isso. Ouvir isso.
Oh, he would be happy to hear that. Ficaria feliz em ouvir os...
O juiz ajudaria a população.
The judge would help the population.
A juíza ajudaria a população.
The judge would help the population.
Não. Comerei. Amanhã.
Until tomorrow. I will not eat until tomorrow. Não comerei até amanhã. I'm rushing. A juíza would help. Ajudaria a população. The judge would help the population. There we go.
Não comerei até amanhã. Não. Chamar.
Comeria.
Comerei. Até. Amanhã.
Okay, I will not eat until tomorrow. There we go.
À noite. Será paga.
The night will be paid. A noite será paga.
Ela ficaria feliz se você tirasse uma fotografia comigo.
She would be happy if you took a picture with me. Comigo. He would be happy if you took a picture with me.
Eu comerei aqui.
Eu comerei aqui. Okay, I will eat here. Next.
Minha mãe será sempre jovem.
I keep rushing. Baltazar, what's up, my friend? How you doing? My hype machine over here, Baltazar. Great to see you. Great to have you here. You get to see the flame. It's always a joy to see the flame. As rare as it comes. I mean, it's every day, so not too special, but... You know, each day is special when you think about it.
Minha mãe será sempre jovem.
My mother will always be young.
Você tinha pensado nisso antes?
Had you thought about that before? Você tinha pensado nisso antes?
Ele nunca será velho. Ele nunca será velho. Velho.
He will never be old.
Ele ficaria feliz em ouvir aquilo.
Ficaria He would be happy to hear that.
Eu pensei que você tinha. Eu pensei que você tinha conversado com ele. Com ele.
I thought that he would have had a conversation with him. Chineiro. Chiniero, how do you say your name? What's up? We got a new friend. Oksana. Oi, amigo. How you doing, buddy? Oksana. We got new friends, folks. We've got new friends. Just in time to see the flame. We're almost done with this lesson, so stay put, folks. Stay tuned. Oh my God. Yeah.
O guarda foi ver o que tinha acontecido.
The guard.
Foi.
Went. What? Oh, went to see what had happened. Foi ver had happened. Yes. O guarda foi ver o que tinha acontecido. The guard went to see what had happened. Yes. Yes, eu falo português. Yes. Next one.
Ele ficaria feliz em ouvir isso. Ficaria feliz em
I forgot that em.
ouvir
Isso.
isso.
I will not eat until tomorrow.
Não. Comerei. Até amanhã.
There we go for the win. Let's see the flame. O fogo. Para mim. All right, staying sharp. We've got double the XP, so that was 28. 88% good. Not the best, but not too bad. And daily quest stuff. And we don't have 90% or higher in 5 lessons. Holy crap. But let's see that flame. Let's see it, folks. Boom. 1,253 days on the day streak. Keeping the flame going. Keeping it alive. And don't forget, folks, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's see that dopamine hit another time on the phone app, because I was doing some passive story timing. There we go. I'm going to send Sig a gift. There you go. Here's some sugar. But most importantly, boom. Yes, Wednesday. We made it through hump day, folks. Yes, look at it. Bask in its excellence. Yes. All right, let's see that a third time. Oh, yeah. Did it on a third app. Yeah, for the new viewers here. Let's see that. Give it that. Here we go. Boom. 1,253 days. You're halfway to a perfect week. Yes, I am. I am a perfect boy. Okay, so let's keep going. And I will address the comments in just a short second. So don't hold your thoughts. How much time do we have? Yeah, we got 6 minutes. 6 minutos. Em meus learning. I don't think I'm going to do the third lesson. Let's go to section 3. And let's try going for talk about nature. Falar sobre a natureza. And Chineru, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Eu estou muito bem for Oksana. And why did I choose Portuguese?
As crianças estão fazendo castelos de areia na praia.
Areia na praia. Oh, shit. De areia with an I. Calor. There we go. Eu gosto do calor. I like the
Ele
heat.
chegou tarde por causa da neve.
I chose it because my fiance's language is... She's Brazilian. Meus pais. And I wanted to learn her language.
Meus pais. Tens uma casa no litoral.
Os meus pais. Damn it. O fogo. Ah, that looks familiar. Look at that. O fogo. Oh, shit. I almost typed fogo. Fofo.
Eu vi uma estrela hoje.
Okay, for some reason my typing is very bad.
O gás.
Ugas. Okay, that's easy to spell. The hotel is too close to the lake. Something's off kilter. I gotta move some things around. I gotta get in the zone, folks. Este hotel, this hotel,
Este hotel está perto do lago.
muito, is too close to the lake.
Todas as plantas precisam de água e luz.
All of the plants need water and light.
Os espaços são entre as casas.
Oh, wait.
São importantes.
There we go. The spaces between the houses are
A
important.
lua está atrás das nuvens.
The moon is behind the clouds. Nós vamos caminhar até a cachoeira. Cachoeira. Oh, shit.
Eu gosto do vento.
Eu gosto do vento. I like the wind. I don't want to keep moving forward. That was dumb. That's very important when a partner's trying to learn his partner's mother tongue. Well, she speaks very fluent English, don't get me wrong. She's not totally ignorant. Like, we don't just do sign language to each other, and we actually speak English most of the time. But to give her brain a rest, hopefully I could someday communicate with her in Portuguese. I still struggle with it. Ooh, look at this. We're almost halfway to the questesses. And it's all thanks to my loving subscribers. I think that's how that works, right?
Vento.
O vento.
Nós conseguimos mudar o ambiente.
Oh, shit. I spelled it wrong. O sol. First, lua. Da lua. Eles viram o mundo da
As
lua.
estrelas.
The stars.
A terra é menor,
Wait.
maior. A que lua.
Que a lua. Oh, geez. The earth is bigger than the moon. A lua.
Algumas rochas caíram da montanha.
Some rocks fell from the mountain. Essa cadeia é feita de madeira. The chair is made of wood.
O planeta.
Ele disse que começou a nevar.
Now, I gotta ask you, yeah, you know your native language is something special. Yeah, I know. It means something more. Now, Chini, how do I pronounce your name? Chini Uru? I don't know how to say your name. Eru? I'm speaking like a gringo over here.
Você gosta dessa flor?
What language do you want to learn if you had to learn one?
Eu consigo ver o topo da montanha.
Is fog neve? Neblina. Alright, I'm gonna cancel that. This is tough. You can... Chini. Okay, I'll just call you Chini. I know I butchered it like crazy. I apologize. Alright. Looks like we might do some... how much time we got? 38 seconds of the XP boost. So I think I'm going to keep going. And you know what? I'm going to try level grinding, talk about nature. Just the practice part. Not the legendary.
Madeira.
That is wood.
Areia.
Area. Or space.
Areia.
Areia is sand. I keep forgetting that.
Universo.
Universe.
Espaço.
Espaço, space.
Nosso pai nos deixa nadar no mar.
Our parents left swimming in the ocean. Nosso pai nos deixa nadar no mar. Our father, parents is pais. Lets us swim in the sea, right? Let's.
Gás.
Gas.
Rosa.
Pink.
Mundo.
It is world.
calor,
Heat. All right.
A. Evolução.
The evolution.
O menino tem um cavalo de madeira. Madeira.
Leão
Foi
foi
ferido.
ferido.
O homem é parte da natureza.
Man is part of nature.
a ponte é feita de pedra. É feita de pedra.
The bridge is made of stone.
Este é um mês sem sol.
Este é o mês sem sol. Sol. Mês sem sol. There we go. This is a month without sun.
A chuva atrasa os ônibus. Os ônibus.
The rain delays the buses. O clima.
Ó. Clima.
Clima.
A terra gira. Terra. Tela. Tela. Terra.
The earth spins.
As flores são vermelhas. São vermelhas.
The flowers are
Ele
red.
está entre os 10 mais populares do caneta. Planeta.
He is among the 10 most popular on the planet.
Há uma flor na cama.
There is a flower on the floor. On the bed. Ooh, that's sensual.
Por que há espaços diferentes?
Porque há espaços diferentes. Why are there different these
Estes
different
insetos
spaces?
são de espécies diferentes.
These insects are of different species. There we go. We got it. We got that was only 5 XP. Holy crap. I've never seen just 5 for a perfect score. Usually we get a bonus or something. Do you see that? Jeez, I feel cheated of that. I want to learn too much languages, but my first thought right now was Yiddish. What you got to do, I don't know what you're into. If you're into girls, if you're into guys, whatever you're into, you find a partner that's insanely attractive, and whatever they natively speak, if it's an international thing, or even like wherever their family reigns from, like for example, like if I met somebody in America and they were like Dutch or something, I would learn Dutch. Or I would do like Italian, because it's like, you know, that's part of my ethnic lineage. And just stick with that. I honestly stick with that. Because like here's an analogy. I'm a tuba player, right? I spent in high school 3 hours a day after school just playing the tuba, right? And you'd think, Petey, why would you do that? That's ridiculous. What are you trying to do? You trying to be a professional musician? Yeah, I was at the time, but also at the time, was it the Philadelphia Symphony Orchestra went bankrupt, and that had like one of the best, like actually female tuba players. One of the best tuba players is actually female, and she was you know, a pioneer of that field. And even with all the caliber and talent in the world, and literally all the talent in the world compiled into this one symphony orchestra, they can't make ends meet. So, what do I, like at that point, I'm like, well, shit. I just spent all that time for nothing. But in hindsight, I realized that like when I picked up a French horn, I could play it. When I picked up a trumpet, I could play it. When I picked up a trombone, I could play it. You know, and I got decent at that. But, and the analogy I'm going to say with you is that with languages, you take up a Latin-based language like Portuguese, like Spanish, like I'm trying to think of another one. Italian. There's another one. There's a lot of crossover. So if you have mastery of one thing like really well, you can learn a lot of cognates and translate that or translate that knowledge you've acquired from just focusing on one thing. But if you focus on too much all at once, and I've personally done that, where I focus too much on everything, you're not going to remember anything. Like I did Drops. Before I did Duolingo, I actually did this app called Drops, where you spent like 5 minutes a day, or like there was a time limit and things like that. And it didn't work out. So I just gave up on learning languages, and that was it. I didn't know what kind of a person I would be with, but I had that open mind. I'm applying to linguistics at uni, so I need a lot of languages. You do? Oh, why would you do that at a university? You got Duolingos. You got Duolingos, my friend. Got Duolingos. I'll say that 10 more times. But that's great. You know, this is actually a secondary thing to my music. Cause like, let me go to my courses. My courses, Portuguese. That's it. That's all this has ever been, just Portuguese. But if you want a gringo that's learning Portuguese and going at it at a very casual speed, sometimes it could be a little speed runnery or try hardy. If you want to follow that, please give me a sub on Twitch, YouTube, DLive, Trovu, and also X. I actually have an account on X. I don't really advertise that much because I'm not too big of a fan of the platform. But I'm there. I'm just there. So yeah, let's keep going. Oops, I forgot to switch there we go. Boom bam, baby. Look at Bia. She's thick. I used to hate her because of how like mean she was to everybody, but there's a lot of stuff that I could relate with her on, and she's thick with 2 C's. Take that for linguistics. That's a word now. All right, where am I at? I got 90% or higher lessons, and Sig's got 22. Also follow me on Duolingo. I wanna see your progress. I'm about 3 years in. Jim's about 6+ years. Look at this guy. Is this a Magic the Gathering reference? Holy shit, I love Magic. What's X? X is in former Twitter. What used to be Twitter. I didn't really like Duo and other language learning apps. They are better ways to learning for me. Hey, you know, if that's your thing. You know, like I wouldn't take music theory on Duolingo because, you know, going to college for music. And honestly, when I say going to college for music, I went to community college. I went to community. And there was literally a guy who was a clarinet player that was that snobby and that full of himself, and he's teaching a community college band class. Get over yourself, man. I hated that fucking school. So I hopefully you don't have the same experience as me. But if you ask my recommendation, just learn on your own. Or go to you know, actually, my Spanish teacher in middle school, she gave me the secret. If you want to learn the language of the people, you live there. You live in the place you want to know the language of and really get into the culture, get into the regular ways of speaking, and then iron out your grammar back at home. But if you want to learn like Spanish in like, I don't know, X amount of time, go to Spain, go to Mexico, go to Puerto Rico. I mean, pick your poison with in terms of like the different dialects there. I'm glad that there's just Brazil. But I would also argue that because there's different regions of Brazil, that there are different dialects there, and also Portuguese on top of that. That's a whole other can of worms, but I'd say, study abroad, I guess, is what, like, that's the, I always feel like a douchebag whenever I say, ooh, I studied abroad, bleh. But this is actually the thing that you're supposed to study abroad for. Like, I don't want to go to the Sistine Chapel for, like, an arts major so I could learn how to paint a naked dude. It's probably very ignorant of me to say this. But it's like I could look up the art on Google Images and use that as a reference. I don't have to be there to study abroad. But, I keep saying but, for you, anybody studying languages, that makes the most perfect sense. Any type of, like, cultural study that's, like, knuckle deep into, different cultures and things like that, totally, I would recommend study abroad before wasting your time with some snotty professor that thinks they know everything. Zing. All right, let's talk about nature.
O menino tem uma fantasia de leão.
I'll go to uni in another country, so I also need to know the language of that country. But, I want to be a philologist, not the languages learner. You mean a philosopher? I've never heard it be called philologist. What the hell's a philologist? Excuse my ignorance with that. O menino tem uma fantasia de leão. The boy has a lion costume.
Qual é a melhor estrada para o litoral? Litoral.
What is the best road to the
Turistas
coast?
não podem entrar na floresta.
Tourists cannot enter the forest. Tourists cannot enter in the forest. Turistas não podem entrar na floresta. Turistas não. Fuck. I actually translated it. Shit. Turistas não podem entrar na floresta. Tourists are not allowed in the forest. Philology is a language science. Since when? I didn't know that was a thing. If you're going to be a doctor, easy topic to write your dissertation about. Different dialects. That's what I would do. Different dialects. The end. Eles viram o mundo da lua. They turned
Mundo.
the world.
Viram.
Oh, they saw
Mundo.
the world from the moon.
O jardim dos meus pais tem muitas árvores.
Yes, I love dialects. What's your favorite dialect? You could be a voice actor if you apply yourself to that. O jardim dos meus pais tem muitas árvores. Árvores. My parents' garden has a lot of trees.
Começou a nevar. Nevar.
It started to snow.
Este hotel está muito perto. Este hotel está muito perto do lago. Lago.
The hotel is too close to the lago. Baby cakes.
Nós falamos sobre o clima. Clima.
Clima. You speak about the climate.
Ele olhou para o céu.
Ele
olhou por céu.
para o
Ele
céu.
olhou para o céu.
Para o céu.
Céu.
Yes, he looked at the sky. Ele olhou para o céu. North Norwegian. That's very specific. You're probably like this super epic, like, know all about every languages already, even before going to university. I would just argue, I think you should just start being a professor if you're this passionate about it. Go for it. Kids are too scared. I was too scared. And I should have just started. But you know, if you want to work up the ranks, I don't know. You could probably start your own thing and teach other people. Just master one thing and start there, and then use the money that you accumulate for that and just keep that going. That's my advice. But like is college free where you go? Where do you live? What country? I'm not going to dox you here.
Esta flor é uma rosa.
This flower is a rose. Eu. Não.
Não. Gosto de chuva.
I do not like the rain.
A terra gira.
The world spins. The planet Earth spins slowly. I'm from a country where everyone knows at least 2 languages, so I'd also write dissertations on this topic. So like Quebec or something? Did I guess that right?
Oh, estudante. Nada, no, mas.
Are you Canadian? Do you have access to that fancy thing that we Americans call socialism?
Elas importam madeira. Elas importam madeira do Brasil. Do Brasil.
They import wood from Brazil.
Eles observam a paisagem.
Paisanos. They observe the paisanos. Eles observe a paisagem. They observe the
Há
landscape.
fogo na cozinha.
There is a fire. There's a fire in the kitchen. There's fire on the kitchen. Oh shit, I forgot to put kitchen. I'm an idiot. Here people often mix languages into one, like Quebec. But I'm not there. Spanish. You're in a Spanish-speaking country. Ele enche o jardim com flores. What's enche?
Enche.
Fills. Okay.
Há fogo na cozinha.
There is fire in the kitchen. Heron. Yeah, baby. Give me that money. Give me that money. The sugar. I am one with the sugar. All right, we're doing well. We're doing well. Eu falo português. Spilled for tub. No, not Spanish. No, not Spanish speaking. Jeez. Could you give me a hint? Oh, you're from Germany? Europe. I'm going to guess Germany. Okay, because I know Germans speak English as well. Are you from Norway? Bolivia? That's not Europe. Bolivia is in South America.
Superfície.
Surface.
Pedra.
Stone.
Rio.
Rio.
Raiz.
Ice. Root.
Eu gosto de cachoeira. Cachoeira.
I like waterfalls, but the water is too cold. No and no. Israel.
Céu.
Sail sky.
Futuro.
Future. Oh, wait. No, wait. Israel's in the Middle East.
Calor.
See, I'm
Equilíbrio.
equilibrio. Balance. I know, I caught myself. All caps, no. Now I know, I caught myself. I'm like, wait a minute. He said Europe. God, I suck at geography. That's an American stereotype. They never taught formal geography to anybody. Probably it's so we're kept ignorant. France.
A. Conservação. Eu estou sentindo cheiro de gás vindo da cozinha. Gás.
I am feeling a smell of the gas
Vindo.
coming into the kitchen.
O homem é parte da natureza.
The man is part of nature.
Este é mês sem sol. Céu. Sol.
This is a month without sun.
As árvores são verdes. Árvores são verdes.
The trees are green.
Este é o território do leão.
This is the lion's territory.
Começou a nevar. Nevar.
It started to snow.
Eu tenho mapa do mundo.
I have a map of the world. It's stupid, to be honest. In Europe, we don't study American geography at a deep level. Then why should Americans? Not France. Italy. Greece. Is it the Iberian Peninsula?
Você estava caminhando na chuva? Você estava caminhando na chuva. Chuva.
Were you walking in the rain?
A terra é maior que a lua.
A terra é maior que a lua. Here, wait, hold on. I think I have an idea. So that's Japanese. Interesting. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Map of Europe. Actually, what did that word mean? Plant in the ground. Sweden.
Seu jardim tem muitas flores.
Your yard has many flowers. No, not that. Okay. Romania. Iceland.
Eu vi uma estrela hoje.
Eu vi uma estrela hoje. I see a star tonight. When you wish upon a star. Are you from the United Kingdom? Minha.
Minha planta é verde.
My plant is green. My parents, yes, but I am not. To which? Your parents are from which? Because that was, I said a bunch. Romania. Okay. So let's see. Ukraine? I gotta see. Map of Europe. Can I get a bigger image here? There we go. It's got to be around here. Moldova.
Por que há espaços diferentes?
Wait, what did I guess? Holy shit, what did I guess? Did I actually guess it? Did I say Bulgaria? I hear there are a lot of short people in Albania. Speaking of which. Why are the spaces different? Porque há espaços diferentes. All right, we got it. Perfect. Wow, we got a perfect lesson. See, I could get a perfect lesson, but why can't I get this right? Not Bulgaria, but you guessed. Oh, man, I got a low attention span too. Moldova? Did I say Moldova? I'm gonna say Moldova, and I'm gonna wait for a response. I don't know what this dragon emoji means. See, that's gonna tell me that isn't that like No, Scotland's a unicorn, isn't it? Wales is the dragon. You're not Welsh. Mom's side is from Moldova, but not me. Okay. Romania. Parents are in Romania. Moldova, mom's side. I guessed. Not Bulgaria. I thought I said... did I say Hungary? I think it was Hungary. No thanks, I'm all full.
Ar.
Air.
Rosa.
Pink.
Espécie.
Espécie. Kind.
Terra.
Terra's earth.
Fogo é muito perigoso.
Fogo é muito perigoso. Fire is very dangerous. Okay. Shit, did I say Macedonia? I know it's around here. God damn it, this is probably giving you so much joy. Slovakia. Macedonia. Slovakia. Slovenia. See, I feel like it would be around here. Did I guess Ukraine? I'm trying to remember what I said. Okay, yes to Hungary.
Lago.
Lago.
Sol.
Sun.
Flor.
Flower. Biologia is biology. I know. It's I'm splitting my focus between Duolingo and guessing where you're from. Slovakia. Okay, you guessed 2 times. Okay. Macedonia. Is that also no?
Estes ossos não são humanos.
Estes ossos não são humanos. Also no. All right. Next one. Slovakia and Slovenia look so similar to each other. It's not Vienna. Is it Ukraine? Are you a refugee? No offense. I don't mean any offense by that if you're from there. You're Ukrainian? I was mistaken for a Ukrainian. In Brazil, that is.
Começou a nevar. Nevar.
It started
É
to snow.
impossível viver sem ar.
It's impossible to see the air. That's not true. É impossível viver sem ar. It's impossible to live with. Viver.
Viver.
Ver. É impossível ver o ar. Would have been. It would have been. It is impossible to see the air, but it's impossible to live without air. Sem ar. Right. Final answer. Actually, I'm Romani from Ukraine, not ethnically Slavic. I'm Romanian from Ukraine, not Wouldn't it be ethnically with an N in it? Not Romanian.
Noites de lua cheia são lindas. Noites de lua cheia são lindas. Lindas.
Full moon nights are beautiful. From Ukraine. So you're from Ukraine, not Slavic. You're not Romanian. From Ukraine. So you got like blonde hair, blue eyes, and all that?
Leão. Sente fome.
The lion feels hunger.
O céu hoje parece uma. O céu hoje parece uma pintura. Pintura.
The sky looks like a painting. Green eyes and curly hair. Cool, cool. Very nice. I think when I was in the online dating, here's the thing too. I opened my online dating to the world, as you know. And I had a couple matches from Ukraine. Very and I think I remember, wasn't there this one lady from Ukraine that's she was on 90 Day Fiancé? Romani is gypsy, but it's a slur, you know. Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. Like, you know, I mean, the Japanese still used it when it came to Legend of Zelda. I think it was, Majora's Mask. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, they use that term.
Eu dei osso ao meu cachorro. Ouro. Osso.
I gave a dog my bone. Eu dei osso ao meu cachorro.
Porque há espaços diferentes. Porque há espaços. Porque há espaços diferentes. Diferente.
Why are there different spaces?
O piano é um dos instrumentos mais populares do mundo. Medo. Mundo.
The piano is one of the most popular instruments in the world.
Meus pais me deixam nadar no mar.
My parents let me swim in the sea or the ocean. Meus pais me deixam nadar no mar. As flores são vermelhas.
Vermelhas.
I like the guessing game though. That was a lot of fun. No one knows it's a slur. Help, it's okay. What? You didn't know this. I mean, we have gypsies in America. I don't know if the culture is the same. But you know, when it came to Hunchback of Notre Dame, I learned something about myself when it came to Esmeralda.
Nós tivemos muita chuva este mês.
We had a lot of rain this month. Nós tivemos muita chuva este mês. No, not really the same. What isn't really the same? She took the turtle to the lake.
Ela.
Levou
Levou. Oh.
a tartaruga
A tartaruga.
para
o
lago.
Lago.
There we go.
Eu não dirijo quando há neblina.
I do not drive when there is fog. Neblina is fog. Not really the same, the culture. No, I'm just saying, I'm saying Esmeralda is very hot, and I'm into it. I learned something. You know, whitewashing takes a roll. You mean takes its toll? With a T? It wasn't... Didn't Hunchback of Notre Dame take place in France? Right? Isn't that... I don't think that's whitewashing. And Esmeralda was like... Had like dark skin. So I don't know if that's whitewashing. She did have blue eyes, so that might be what you're you're thinking. I mean, that whole movie, I mean, if we're going to pick battles when it comes to whitewashing, I don't know if that's the one to do it. I would say the moral dilemma I have for that movie is didn't like the Chad Knight like get the girl at the end. You know, it like isn't the moral dilemma more about like cucking the very like isn't this like a r/nice guy thing where it's like, oh, I was a nice guy, better let this other more handsome guy fuck the girl. Like that was the movie, at least. The book was apparently dark, like stigma, erasure of history, and stereotyping. Yeah, you know what? And I think stereotyping, but Esmeralda is good, yes. I'm just saying, I don't care about like the cultural dilemmas and things like that. I just think that I thought that she was drawn well. And I'm like, okay, I'm into this. Why do I like her? There's something about, I don't know. I just thought she was hot. That's all I was trying to say. I don't want to get... I mean, I don't think you would call it whitewashing when it's like, isn't it like a Dutch story? Isn't The Little Mermaid like a Dutch story? But the recent one, she doesn't look anything like Ariel would have. And plus, you know, if you were a humanoid under the sea, wouldn't you have extremely fair skin because you don't have the need to produce melanin? That's more of like not even a cultural thing, but a scientific thing. But yeah, that's race swapping at the very least. Mar, sea.
Cérebro.
Brain.
Prova.
Is test.
Sol.
Sun.
Este lugar é famoso por tipo de pedra azul.
What forms of whitewashing bothers you the most? Mr. Cheney. Pepperoncini. This space is famous for a type of rock, blue rock. Este lugar é famoso por tipo de pedra azul. Azul is blue. It's famous for a type of blue stone. It's a mega stone from Pokémon.
Lua.
Lua's moon. Air.
Rosa.
Pink.
Pesquisa.
Research.
Qual é a espécie deste animal? Espécie.
What is the species of this animal?
Minhas flores são amarelas.
Minhas flores são amarelas. These flowers are yellow. Can you repeat your question? Okay, sure. Let me make that a little bit clearer. So, when it comes to whitewashing and stereotyping and the things you've listed, stigma, history erasure, stigma, and the stigma of erasure of history and stereotyping, what do you see in media that bothers you the most? Or list a bunch of them. And I think we could talk about that. Because that'll be interesting, you know? Because I see, like, even like our football teams in America, there's big controversy over the Washington Redskins. And, you know, the other part of erasure that I don't like is like, you know, if it's so offensive, like it could be so offensive in some ways for some people, but it could also be like, well, this is the only thing we got going here as far as like cultural awareness, because we're all dumb and ignorant and on our phones all the time. Nazis in Europe. Yeah, I mean, there's Nazis in America. The whole National Socialist thing is kind of transcended into America. And not in the way you might think. Some people think it's just, it's a right-wing takeover because they only hear the nationalism part. But the other half is socialism, and you know, if you try to act authoritatively through this national pride of trying to assert and domineer via socialism, it's the same. It's a different side of the same exact coin, and that can happen in any country. I'm anarcho-communist. What does that mean? So you want the government involved, but you don't want them involved?
O menino faz bolas de neve. Neve.
The boy makes snowballs.
Há gato em cima da árvore. Gato. Em cima da árvore.
There's a cat on the tree. So you want anarchy, but you also want the government to take care of things? That doesn't make sense. There's a cat on the tree.
Você pode ver a Terra do espaço. Espelho. Espaço.
You could see the Earth from space.
Turistas não podem entrar na floresta.
Tourists cannot enter the forest. Turistas não podem entrar na floresta.
Todo mundo está aqui hoje.
Everyone is here today. Yes.
O novo mapa do cérebro. No mapa do cérebro.
The new map of the brain.
O leão é forte.
The lion is strong. This flower is a type of rose.
Flor. De. Rosa.
This flower is a type of rose. There we
Nós
go.
tivemos muita chuva este mês.
We had a lot of rain this month. O mar é grande.
Porque há espaços de porque há espaços diferentes.
Why are there different spaces?
Eles viram o mundo da lua.
We saw the moon from the moon. We saw the world from the moon. And let's see it. Perfect lesson. Wow, we're good. We got 5 perfect lessons over here. And let's see that. Ooh, double XP, 2 times the XP. Give me that sugar. And we're halfway into the February challenge for this month. Bia is playing the trumpet, and I appreciate her affinity for jazz. You've completed 25 quests. Keep going to earn the badge. All right, here we go. Well, the anarchism is the movement within communism, and the totalitarianism of communism is a myth, propaganda since the times of the USSR. Simply communism is the final stage of socialism. That's where people go to die. Unfortunately, find me a government system that can actually do that. Good evening, Derg Super. Nice to see you. Eu
não tenho raízes.
O fogo na... I'm just... Oh, okay, there's a fire in the kitchen.
O macaco
lives here.
Mora nesta árvore.
The monkey lives in this tree.
Os raios podem ser perigosos. Os raios.
The lightning can be dangerous. A planta.
Eu caminho pelo rio todas as manhãs.
I walk along the river every morning. Onde está o sol? Where's the sun? Floresta. The forest. Nós
conseguimos
to change.
Mudar o ambiente.
Ambiente is environment. There we go.
Eu estou sentindo cheiro de gás vindo da cozinha.
I smell gas coming from the kitchen. O céu.
O travesseiro é duro como uma...
O
travesseiro é duro como uma rocha.
The pillow is as hard as a rock.
Ele diz que
it started snowing.
Começou a nevar.
He said that it started snowing. Você não está neste mundo? You are not in this world?
Os espaços são espaços são grandes.
The spaces are large. O neve é branca. A neve. A
Eu
neve.
gostaria de ver a... Eu gostaria de ver a terra da lua.
I would like to see the earth from the moon. There we go. Meus pais têm uma casa na litoral. No litoral. Ah, we didn't get it. That was 3 wrong. The snow sentence in country that don't snow. I know. I mean, doesn't like the deep south of Brazil actually get snow? Also, to the communist thing, you got to understand human nature in order to make those assumptions. The state is a monopoly on violence, and communism presupposes the destruction of the state in any case. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Estrela is star. Ele é alto e tem ossos grandes. He is tall and has big bones. Ele e eu vemos
o
céu.
céu.
A terra é grande. The earth is big. A planta is the plant. Gas. Essa zona é rica em gas. This zone is rich in
O
gas.
clima está bom.
Climate is
Nós
nice.
vamos caminhar até a cachoeira.
Cachoeira. Did I spell that right? Cachoeria. Oh, I got the I's mixed up. We walk to the waterfall. Nós vamos caminhar até a cachoeira.
Ele desenha pedras. Ele desenha pedras.
He draws stones. O mundo is the world.
Aeroporto. O aeroporto está fechado. Por
causa
da neblina.
The airport is closed because of the fog.
Você está vendo o sol?
Are you selling this? Did you see the sun? Do you see the sun? Algumas rochas caíram da montanha. Some rocks fell from the mountain.
A árvore tinha uma raiz profunda. A árvore tinha uma raiz profunda.
Profunda. The tree has deep with a Z. The tree has a deep root.
A natureza brasileira é muito rica.
Muito rica. Brazilian nature is very rich. That's very true. Esta flor é para teu jardim. This flower is for your yard. Is it a eletricidade or something like that? Eletricidade. Yes, we got it right. We had that wrong the first time. The electricity. Electricidade. We got 80 XP for that and a perfect score. 100% on that. Holy crap. That was actually very nice. Acknowledgement. And we goldified that level once and for all. I'm actually proud of that. That was very clutch. Oof. If I get 90% or higher in 35 lessons, oh no. I gotta stay on for another half hour. I guess I might stop there. Surprise, surprise. I might actually stop here. Or you know what? I'll get the friend quest. I don't really need double XP for this amount of time. Yeah, you know what? We'll do a story time. Problem with my pasta. We're gonna goldify this once and for all. Goldifying problem with my pasta. Portuguese is one of the most beautiful Latin languages. That's very true. Searching for that, but it seems like it might actually snow, but it's not worth mentioning, I think. That's very true. Like, I don't know if Brazil has a ski team. The difference between anarchism is that basically communists are Marxists who assume that establishment of dictatorship of the proletariat and the advent of socialism, the state itself will collapse, and anarchists believe that any dictatorship is unacceptable. That's like, the claim you're making is like, if I could give you another analogy, it's like trying to make the Locrian mode tasteful in music. It's not possible. It's only a theoretical thing. Like, you have to take into account human nature, and I think your opinions would change the more people you meet. Because I've met a lot of people, and that's just not how... Like, thinking in the sense of, like... I don't know. Such a broad way that you would assume that everybody would go by the standards that you're... By the exact same standards, it's impossible. And it needs to be messy. That's why I like... systems of government that allows for representatives like what we've got. Even though it can be very noisy.
Com meu macarrão.
A problem with my pasta.
Bia está comendo num restaurante em Roma.
Bia is eating at a restaurant in Rome.
Garçom passa perto da mesa dela.
The waiter passes next to her by her table.
Olá, por favor, tem problema com o meu macarrão.
Hello. Please, I have a problem with my macaronis. Bia called the waiter because she's going to order now. Oh, shit. No. I need to pay attention to the story.
Impossível. Esse é o nosso prato mais popular.
Impossible. This is our plate, our most popular plate.
Mudaram a receita?
Did they change the recipe?
Não. Faz mais de 50 anos que usamos exatamente a mesma receita.
No, but it has been 50 years that we've used the exact same recipe.
É que eu comi o macarrão desse restaurante há 7 anos. E agora ele está...
And I ate the pasta from this restaurant 7 years ago. And now it is with a taste different.
7 anos é muito tempo. Você é que pode ter mudado.
7 years is a lot of time. You're the one who may have changed.
Pode ser. Eu era mais nova, tudo era novo e interessante.
Maybe. When I was younger, everything was new and interesting.
Agora, eu sou mais independente.
Now, I am more independent.
E também sou mais responsável. E muito mais internacional.
I am also more responsible and very more international.
Você está certo. Eu é que mudei. Obrigada.
You're right. I have changed. Thank you. That's because when you look at the beginning, this is what Bia used to look like over here. And I miss that old Bia look. Because they could have had a dynamic trio between Bia, Lynn, and Zadi, but they aged her, but only her. Why did Bia just thank the waiter? She realized how much she's changed.
De nada.
It's nothing.
Cadê o garçom que trabalhava aqui naquela época?
when the waiter... Where is the waiter that worked here at that time?
Aquele que usava óculos escuros e sempre tinha um chapéu vermelho.
That was... What was it? That used the dark glasses and always had a red hat.
O Antônio?
Antonio?
Isso! Ele ainda trabalha aqui?
That. Does he work here?
Não, ele nunca trabalhou aqui.
No, he never worked here.
Ele trabalha no restaurante vizinho.
He worked in the restaurant next door.
Ah.
I didn't have to translate It seems like Bia is in the wrong restaurant.
Mais tarde, Bia está comendo outro macarrão no restaurante vizinho.
Later, Bia is eating another macaronis in the restaurant next door.
Esse macarrão tem exatamente o mesmo gosto daquele que eu comi há 7 anos.
This pasta has the exact taste as the one I had 7 years ago.
Ah, que triste. Eu não mudei nada.
How sad. I didn't change at all. Why does Bia think she hasn't changed? Yeah, the pasta tastes the same. Whereas cade, taste, gosto, next door, vizinho, always, sempre, thank you, obrigada, de nada. Yeah, it's nothing. Story complete, and we've got 80 XP for that level. And we got 83% right. That wasn't actually on purpose. I sincerely got that one wrong because I wasn't paying attention to the story. But we're in 6th place. Oh boy. Looks like we're pretty much close to... Oh, and with 20 seconds to spare, the XP boost will be gone. I don't think I have any room to earn XP. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Our XP boost is no more. I feel bad for the restaurant owner. And Chini says, Duolingo lore. Yeah, I know. Mais International is way too strange. Yeah, wouldn't you say like worldly? Like I'm worldly, like I'm of the world. Like ACOM stands for POC, queer women, poor people, and all people in general rights. You know, state is a patriarchy product, just like capitalism. Yeah, I mean, so is like... I mean, that's a little extreme. It's kind of an extremist view. But, you know, to each its own. I personally think... You know, I don't agree with the argument that it's at all tyrannical. Like the patriarchy is always seen as such a evil thing in the world. You have to understand how dudes think. Like we're not here to like destroy or like domineer 100% of everything. Some of us just really like girls, and we'll do everything we can to protect them. And that's the truth. I mean, you know, look at how chauvinistic I am. Look at me. Or maybe I'm a simp. I don't know. 1,253 days, though, on the day streak for my girl. And, you know, it's I'm thankful that civilizations has advanced so far in unity rather than this versus that. You know, I believe that we didn't really have much time or space to really domineer or cause havoc in the household in many ways. So I don't really buy that narrative at all. But yeah. But ACOM stands for POC queer women. Like a lot of these are just kind of buzzwords. I would love to get behind like your exact philosophical meaning for and reasoning for why you like stuff. Help, extremist is already like a middle name, but you know YK centrists don't solve any problems. Okay. Do you think, and I'm going to read what Dirk Super said. I feel bad for the first restaurant owner. I think we would rather say Eu sou do mundo to something like that. I am of the world. Yeah, right. Mais Internacional looks like you are talking about an enterprise. Well, that actually brings me to a specification that I would agree with anybody who's frustrated with capitalism. It seems as though capitalism is this overarching blanket term, but really what it is, it's corporatism that we have in this country, in my country. Corporatism and enterprise, when it's not kept in check by government, but in fact bolstered by government, that's where it's a problem. And that's not capitalism, that's corporatism. It becomes a different thing. There's supposed to be two opposing forces. And that's sure enough, you know, that I think that's the best what is it? Middle of the road opinion to have. It's like we all want the same thing. Relatively, it's to have peace, not too much gluttony or greed, but a balance between the two where it's both sides of power are fighting each other rather than working together and forcing all of us to fight amongst ourselves. Excuse me. And I don't think complaining about it amongst middle to lower class folk really makes that much of a difference. You know, to be fair, this peace is only the last 100 years, and even now there are a lot of wars happening. Oh yeah, I hate it. A lot of stuff we don't know yet. I don't even know what's like. There are a lot of Americans that keep up with the war in Ukraine, and once Israel was attacked by Palestine, and then they retaliated, and then there's that back and forth that's been happening, and then there's unknowns that's happening in Iran that the U.S. for some reason is propagating as a problem. For me, I don't care. Like, it's not that I don't care, but it's like there's a little bit of me that's like we can't get involved in wars anymore as Americans. You're pro-Palestinian, by the way. Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm pro neither. Like, they're gonna be violent towards each other till the end of time. That's never gonna go anywhere. I'd love to say that, you know, it's like, you know, maybe you go into ancient history and then, you know, the Jewish people used to live there. Then there's, you know, archaeological evidence for that, and then there's the moral dilemma of there's bureaucratic control, which isn't capitalistic, by the way, but there's bureaucratic control of Palestine, and it seems as though there's been a slow erosion of them, and that's not nice to, you know, systemically force people out of their homes. Kind of like what Hawaiians have dealt with when the United States of America acquired Hawaii during World War II. And even now with like the Maui fire, It's like Oprah Winfrey was the only one that didn't suffer from the fire, which is kind of interesting. But also real estate agents got in and were like, "Hey, so your house burned down. Do you want to sell your land?" To all the native-born people from Maui. And I'm like, Jesus, that's so fucked up. And yeah, there's not enough of a stink about that. But, it's people like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that have to fix it because he's from there. But I don't know if he'll do anything about it. The start of the war in the religious stuff was no right side, but the things Israel has made are just unforgiven. Yeah, I mean, vice versa, Because if it's not October 7th, it's like something else that Israel did, and then if it's not something that Israel did, then it's something that Palestine did, and it's just, how can you side with one at all? Because they're both evil. Like any holy wars, like any sense of holiness that was there, it's just gone. Like you've killed the divinity, any semblance of divinity from that land. And now it's just some petty property dispute. It's not a religious war, it's colonization. See, another buzzword. See, I like Dirk Super's diplomatic approach. It's, very diplomatic way of phrasing it. This is mostly buzzwords right here. Because, like, if you open up the can of worms of colonization, then you open up the can of worms for, like, every semblance of where people move and migrate and set foot in different locations. You can make an argument for America that, like, the 2,000 people coming in a day through the Mexican border, that's colonization. Is that justified? Because ethnically, there's a little bit of European Spanish in those people. Is that white colonization? In some ways, yeah, you could make an argument for that. And it's in human nature. See, this is the problem that you're missing right here, Chini, is that you're not really thinking in the terms of how evil human nature is naturally. Without checks and balances to really keep each individual in check when it comes to infringing on other people's basic human rights. Things have to be not messy in terms of like violent crimes and things like that, but it has to be, the arguments have to be messy. There's got to be a rigorous litigation process when it comes to everything. And that's kind of what the U.S. has when it's with its checks and balances. The unfortunate part is that the executive branch has taken so much control of deciding when we go to war, when that was initially supposed to be Congress's right. So, like I said, it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than kind of winging it with no set plan. I don't think humans are evil by nature. In many ways, they can be. Well, the thing is you need to have a moral compass in order to understand what evil would be predicated on. And for a lot of people, it's via religion. There's a moral code, but religion is a reflection of what humanity has discovered as what's good and what's bad, unanimously, and what can lead to bad and what can lead to good. Even if it's natural, doesn't necessarily mean it's good, but sometimes it can be. So distinguishing what is naturally good and what's evil, I usually go to the different all the virtues and all the different sins of because when you follow deadly sins, that is it has the same nature as like a parasitic relationship. You know, like you have a tick or a worm or something in your body. If you do that, if you act on something, you know, with any wrathful intent, lustful, gluttonous, you know, you name it, intent, not even as like a religious thing, but kind of like a precursor to psychology approach, you notice that like your life ends up turning to shit. And I've lived long enough for me to make that conclusion for myself. Then in the inverse, you want to improve your life, you live amongst the virtues, and you systemically can turn your life around and become more virtuous. All the like stories and stuff, and like, you know, that could all be like fairy tale bullshit and things like that. If you're going for like the skepticism, atheistic approach, but I'd say like when it comes to morality, and even like the high-end scientists still point to religion as a reason of advancing humanity. But yeah, that's you know, if states didn't exist, there would be no wars between states. Now, well, the thing is human nature has the territory. It's in human nature. You have to study human nature. It's just there. It's like if I'm gonna quote Harry Potter's, because unfortunately, I don't think the queer community really likes Harry Potter anymore, but I will, goddammit. Sirius Black said that we have light and darkness in all of us, and what you act upon is what determines who you are, basically. The territory thing is only natural to exist. Yes, it's natural, but it doesn't mean it's good. There's the thing. It's natural, but it's not good. You know, like, you see a dog take a shit on their food so that no other dogs, like, fuck with that food. Or like you see like a National Geographic, like prehistoric age. I saw this prehistoric video of like this saber-toothed tiger taking a crap on its food, and that's just in human nature. We can have territory without the state. No. Because that's what a state is. It's a territory. See, you're trying to like play like semantic games there. That's not like, that's just semantics. It's like, okay, what's a territory? What's a county? What's a state? What's a tri-city area? It's all kind of synonymous. It's a piece of land that a bunch of people have said, okay, we all think similarly and we could coexist peaceably. That's what a territory is. And what you're arguing for is tribalism. You could have territories without a state. Okay, so tribalism. So we're all divided in our subsect communistic territories. And that's so much easier to control the masses when we're all like 32 a commune, we'll say. 32 people per commune, you know, and how is that different from like a clan or a tribe, you know, within, because what inevitably ends up happening is that those tribes become clans, and those clans become kingdoms, and those kingdoms become countries, and those countries end up fighting wars. And then those wars inevitably come into some sort of a stalemate, and then all the countries are kind of passive-aggressive now. Then there's going to be a one world government. That's just the name of the game. Now, I do agree with the sentiment of over-centralization of power, both in the private sector and the public sector, when it comes to government and corporatism. there's got to be checks and balances for that. But government doesn't want to acknowledge that that's a problem. And there needs to be something that controls the masses in the sense of keeping them in line. That's what government's for. It's a necessary evil. It's not a system, and that system is violent. People are violent in human nature. We're debating right now, DeFish. I hate to kill the mood. We can have territory. Yeah, no. It's a system, and that system is violent. Right. And any other system will be just as violent or worse. That's the unfortunate truth. We're violent people. You know, you play any type of a video game. What do people like doing? You know, you have your peaceful people that love Animal Crossing. Then you got your people that just say the N-word on Call of Duty or Fortnite, and they love shooting each other and killing things, and that's in human nature. Human is actually legally a term for monster. It legally means monster. We are man, technically, but human is the monster version of that word. And that's why in the court of law, when a human is referred to and needs to be represented in court, that's you can't speak on behalf of yourself because you're a monster. That's why you need an advocate. Like in Portuguese, advogado is advocacy. You need an advocate for the monster to speak on behalf for you because you've deemed yourself human. And let's see. I mean, the N-word was made by white people, and they used it back in the 18-something. Not true, actually. N-word is just the Latin word for black. Nigeria. Niger. Like, those are African countries. Niger. It came way before that. That's not true. Even though preta means black in Portuguese, negra in Spanish is black. And I think negra is dark in Portuguese. And the real boy got a lava lamp. That's the most important news for today. What was the real F, Derg? I mean, I'm missing out. When things are upside down, territory before nationalism, things just don't work. People are like this because of this kind of society that lives in our heads, but not because of nature. Well, there's a balance between the human animal and the sentience that we all have. And I believe that, you're not gonna think extreme. Like if you are bragging about extremism, like holistically, like I'm extreme, and you're not just trying to be edgy, you're actually like, oh yeah, I'm fucked up, I'm extreme. Like, who's gonna take you seriously in any type of? And don't get me wrong, I've been there. I've been at that edgy point of like, yeah, fuck it, just whatever I think, it works. But there's a level of narcissism that comes there, where you think like you know best. I don't think so. I don't think I know best, but nobody's going to care about anybody's individual's opinion. So we will all have our own unique take on what government should be and what the world should be. But it isn't, because there's so many different people, and it's so hard to keep track of all that stuff. There's a lot of people in their heads, but yeah, I'd agree though. There's a lot of people that are in our heads, but I don't think that disproves what I'm talking about here. I think I think I know best, and I can't do anything with that. And that's the problem. See, that's the problem with communists. Like they think that they know the best, And when they go to try it and experiment with it, not everybody thinks in the same way. It's like, have you ever like talked to people? I don't mean to be condescending in that sense, but like, you got to accept all different types of people. People who don't speak the university vernacular, like basic country folk. I think when I got de-radicalized was when I started making friends from the South. Virginia and below, as far as like the United States geographical makeup. Southern folk, speak like this, who talk in a bit of an accent. You get their perspective, and you can disagree with them, but their way of thinking is different. And there's a lot of foundational things that they like in terms of keeping the longevity of traditions. People who are traditionalists aren't all necessarily bad, and I used to believe that. There's a level of tradition that needs to stay, in the sense of like, there's a cultural benefit to it, but also the main benefit would probably be due to the fact that like if it's not broken, then why should you try to fix it? Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the common trope that you hear. Dear Diary, I learned a new curse word, folk. Oh, nice. What was it? What's the new curse word? So that's not even a discussion anymore. What isn't? I don't know what you're referring to, because there's a little bit of latency on the stream, so I don't know exactly what you're referring to. And okay, Barca, we gotta acknowledge Barca here. What's up, my owl? Wait, you got a lava lamp? Holy shit! The real boy got a lava lamp. I'm proud of you. I know it's tempting, but don't eat the juice that's in the lava lamp, okay? Don't do that. Curse word is folk music. I see you listening to Bob Dylan, aren't you? That's a bad joke. It's a lot depends on socialization, and my position is understandable. I'm a POC from country and not the elite class, so yeah, it's everybody's got their different experiences. But don't use it as a crutch, okay? Don't get me wrong. I would assume that Europeans are way more racist than Americans. America, we open our butt cheeks open for any culture. Like, give me that sweet new culture in my arse. Like, that's what America has been doing for a long time. And actually, a lot of us are getting resentful of it. So it needs to happen at a slower and more organic pace. This is where nature, I think, comes into play here. But for me, when it comes to cultural diversity and things like that, it doesn't really bother. Like, that stuff, I could see bothering Europeans more than it does Americans. Yeah, there's a lot of Nazis. That's a big problem. Post-Soviet country. They never talk about the Nazis. Like, they call Trump a Nazi. They call, like, the Republicans here Nazis. But there's actual Nazis, like, in Europe. I know it's, like, a stereotype and things you shouldn't say or mention, but, like, maybe the white supremacy came from the countries that imposed the white supremacy, not us. We kind of ran away from that. Europeans love silent genocides. That's kind of a buzzword, though. Like, be specific. Like, that's so fucking annoying. How much are you paying for this school? Like, be specific. Come on. I'm not a professor here, but Jesus, be specific. Come on. Tell me what you mean. What do you mean by silent genocide? Because everybody's suffering that in a weird... You could delineate any type of a silent genocide from any specific group of people. Actually, if you want to look at the grand scheme of things, I think Europeans and white people are the minority of the world technically. There's more Asians, black, and Hispanic people than there are, like, mixed people than there are, like, just white people. So, yes, I guess maybe in that sense, when it comes to accepting refugees. I love how oil. I love oil. I love the dichotomy, the left and right between these two conversations that I'm having. There's the deep political discussion, and then I found a Subway coupon that's not related to this exact conversation. You know, you gotta celebrate those small victories. And speaking of small victories, I have a shameless plug that I want to share with you folks. I started a YouTube channel about a week ago, and it's gotten some good traction. It's known as Executive Fitness. I don't know if I'm going to keep the change or keep the name, but I just got 4 subscribers, and wow, 7 videos up. So this is basically a fitness motivation thing that I'm doing to better myself and to spread a positive message in terms of bettering one's health. So, you know, give that channel a gander, give it a subscribe-y, do what you got to do. And you know, I would love it if you did. You know, I'm doing really well. I'm still pudgy, though. I'm still pudgy. You get to see me in my cute pudgy face right now. But I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it in, like, I don't know, maybe 8 months. I'll be at a good spot in my life. Might take a year. European. Let's see. I'm going to read the rest of these. It's like ethnic cleansing and not discrimination, but hidden, but not specifically mentioned. So it's a ghost of a ghost. So you can't really pinpoint it, but it's there. That's kind of a hard sell. I'm not, like, I get it. Like, is it like the same sense in like the Maui thing? Like there was an epic fire in Maui, right? For example. And all the natives' land got burned down except for Oprah Winfrey's. So then real estate agents came in and asked them basically the real estate agents called a lot of the victims of the fires and said, "Hey, are you selling your property? I know it's burnt to a crisp, but hey, you know, we'd like to buy it from you." That I have a moral dilemma with. It's like, fuck you. Like, you should be helping these people for crying out loud. And for some reason, Oprah Winfrey's house didn't burn down, and I don't understand why. Maybe she had a sprinkler system, or maybe there's some sort of weather control devices that actually exist, but that's here nor there. That'd be silly. There might be a minority, but if they were the elite, that made a lot of massacres, like human zoos and anything you could search for of the imperialism. Yeah. Do you think we would do that now? Do you think I'd do that now? What would I do? 1 foot long for $3.99. I love you, real boy, man. That's fucking. You're like, you know, I was in the generation of $5 foot long, so that is gold. $3.99. Hopefully Subway is still food. I don't think it's food at this point. That's another thing. One thing I do agree with the Europeans on, and Jewish people on, food standards. Make food again is going to be my slogan. There shouldn't be titanium dioxide in Skittles, in Beyond Chicken, in like fucking pancakes. it causes brain damage and attention problems. Most of my country have like attention problems. So it's like, I don't know. It's frustrating to see. Ugh. But that's my game. That's my game. Native Americans are the example too. Make food again is a socialist as fuck thing. No, it's not. It's not socialist though. It's non-core. Or actually, you know what? Take the government subsidies out of food. That would actually be a better thing, so that you could have farms undercut the competition. Because now food industry is being babied by government. That's the corporatism I don't like. So maybe that would be a better choice, is like have better choices in the sense of like the free market, and actually make the free market free again, because it's not. It's controlled by government in favor of corporations. There are a lot of fucked up things that are too fucked up in the world. That's true. That's true. Epic. See, you know, the simple joys is the real boy having his $4.99 or $3.99 foot long at Subway, which isn't a sponsor, by the way. Just, you know, if you know, little things give you joy. If you like the extra mayo, if you like turkey, veggie lovers, you know, I'm open-minded. Subway recently got bought out by the owners of Cinnabon. So there's that. So when you go there, real boy, notice there's going to be more like churros and things like that, and Cinnabons and pastries there, which isn't really food. Like, and it's not a far stretch to say, in a socialistic sense, that, and it's not socialist in the sense of like you're infringing another person's individual liberty. That's actually more along the lines of being a republic. You know, individual liberty, if it's infringed upon by another entity, if that being a food industry that is knowingly putting known carcinogens and neurotoxins into the food, water, and medicine, that they are poisoning its people. That's a different argument than... That's a different argument to be made than just, let's just make everything free and available. Because you're actively... And it's almost as if they're actively poisoning people. That's the distinction. You can't... It's illegal to kill someone in any government that respects individual liberty. So I wouldn't make an argument for that being socialistic. Sponsored by Subway, plus 39 income. If only. I wouldn't have to get a day job. I got a job interview on Friday, and I have to cut all this off, unfortunately. Infeliz Manche. Native Americans are the example, too. Actually, let me go in a row. It's not everyone, but there are more bad people than good people in the world. Very true. You don't have even though Animal Crossing's popular, you know, you don't have that like field of domesticated people just peaceably being around and happy, because there's nobody fighting for a better life. You need that aggression to fight for a better, more comfortable life. And it's not in a way that is a detriment to other people. Sometimes it has to be in a survival situation. But now that things are more civilized, it doesn't have to be that way. And the unfortunate thing is that people had to suffer throughout history, but we've got it so much better now than all of history, all of recorded history, that is. And I think, just take it step by step. We need people on the left, we need people on the right to just carve out a path somewhere in the between. Darwin cursed Brazil when he saw slaves in Brazil, by example. Yeah, I mean, it's still a thing, too. I hear that there's still slavery in Brazil. Point the fingers at Europe. There's, like, African countries. Like, you go to the Congo, and it's not... It's like, yeah, the supply chain is, Apple and Samsung and other, like, tech companies, Tesla, require lithium and cobalt to run batteries for, all of our smartphones that runs all these devices and things like that. But it's the government of the Congo that forces the slave labor to get it in the first place. That's a governmental problem that I think needs more attention than a civilized university, snobby university that says, oh, we need to be socialist because we don't have everything absolutely perfect to an unreasonable standard that we can't reach in humanity right now. Have the thought of utopia in your head and know that that's a possibility like 500 years from now if we keep things going the way they are. But if you want to rush to conclusions, you're going to have a bad time because civilization is very fragile. I agree with that sentiment that civilization, it is so hard to keep because there are so many different people and so many different opinions that anybody could just kill anybody in the drop of a pin if there was some level of instability or fight or flight. The fact that we have fight or flight in our system still in the R complex, the reptilian brain, it's the reason why we can't coexist peaceably in a utopian sense. We haven't evolved that far. Until we could remove the R complex and the need for survival, we're stuck. Gene therapy, maybe. Maybe there's gene therapy. Yes, I not mean you, but things the guys since 500 years made still leaving us with troubles. Oh, you mean like the thing with the mirrors? Yeah, I could respect that. I have ADHD. The real boy dream. See? The real boy has ADHD. Why? Titanium dioxide in the food, water, and medicine. Also, things like lead, corrosive materials in the pipes. Sometimes, and this is a socialistic thing that builds the infrastructure that government wants to cut costs with because they don't have an inherent need to better society. They have to be both places of power have to have their feet held to the fire when it comes to the standard of the betterment of humanity, because nobody wants to put in all the work that is necessarily apparently needed in the longevity and the betterment of one's well-being. It just isn't a thing in government or the private sector. So what do? Is it every man for itself? Maybe that's where the anarcho comes into play. I would argue libertarian, because that at least invokes some level of individualism. Because the communism part is like, I've met enough people to realize that people aren't the answer. You have to find, don't get me wrong, you have to find the people that you click with, but you can do that in a free society. And if there are people out there that just say, fuck you, I just want to be by myself, they can't do that in a communistic society. So it's going to build resentment, and that's where things go bad. You have to have liberty. It's not Brazil to find a lot of poor families with grandfathers whom were slaves. It's tough too, The good thing is that Brazil is getting better. It's closer to a second world country than it is a first world. And U.S. is not far behind. We're starting to decrease our overall well-being and things like that in terms of where we're compromising ourselves to be. We used to be a first world country, but I think we're more of like a 1.5 world country because we're so accommodating to every other country in terms of armaments, letting people in through our borders without any form of filing or processing. And that's unfortunate. Every country has borders, but unfortunately ours is kind of open right now. And there's nothing wrong with establishing some level of boundaries, because that's anybody with that's the human animal needs a sense of territory and a sense of ownership. Otherwise, nobody would really give a shit about building a Minecraft server or building a Minecraft base. That wouldn't be like a sense of amusement for us. It is because we like the sense of creating a house, a home, a place to dwell in, something that we could call our own, an environment that we can stomp around and have our own merry way with. Territory. It's in human nature. And the minute you start to understand that, your radical ideals will just erode. And it takes time. And I don't think you'll get it for a while. Because the world had multiple different wars, because wheat corn, they put substitutes in the food of proteins so that can mutate and become toxic over time. Are you talking about like gene splicing of like natural pesticides? Yeah, that was. It's crazy how rampant that is. But here's the thing too, like you have like homeowners associations that could easily just lift their red tape and just say, grow food. That'll eliminate the carbon footprint. But nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to like undercut the food industry, because that's what government is supposed to lobby for, is the protection of the food industry. And you can't have chickens. You can't grow your own eggs. I mean, that's the thing that is the corporatism. It's corporatism. Always when African countries tried to fight European neocolonialism, leaders always died and were replaced for unknown reasons. And they got to work together. They got to unite. Africa is a formidable force when they can get along, but they just won't. That's unfortunate, too. It's almost 3 a.m. here. Thinking of going to sleep now. You have a wonderful night, Dirg. Well, how libertarian is about fake liberty and about fake choice. Like processed foods. Yeah, exactly. Like processed foods. I would say, it's I mean, I can understand the emotional drive to like go all Marie Antoinette on this. You can do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm a peaceful man. I don't really want to fight. I've got no reason to. Because I like my Duolingos. And I like all that I do here, and I like my Wi-Fi. Caspian Ryan, have a nice live stream. Oh, thank you so much. We just had a deep geopolitical conversation for the past, 45 minutes, so it's been good. Noodle. Be sure to drop a follow, though, Mr. Ryan. Caspian. And Noodle. Send Noodle. But I guess the opinion I have with that is just government's not working out. Defund it. If corporations aren't working out, boycott. But you have to do both. And you have to hold the boycott. You have to hold the lowered taxes. And it'll be rough for a while. But I think it's kind of like a detox of power that you could civilly that would be the civil way to detox the power is you do it with money, because the only way to vote is through money. Because otherwise companies like BlackRock or Vanguard wouldn't own half the world's economy. Big bank firms. That's what really controls the world. So if you could figure out a way to boycott everything, the powers that be and such, and navigate through that in a unanimous way. It's the same reason why I don't agree with like Starbucks unionizing. Like, what's that going to do? That just gets government involved for a bunch of people who don't have the hustle or don't have the communication skills to band together and form their own company and undercut Starbucks. Like, I'm sorry, but it doesn't take like everything to like make shitty coffee. That's like not the end all be all. Like, labor unions were supposed to be for like if you lost an arm. Now it's just kind of like another bureaucracy type of ownership in like another government, basically a mini government that bullies people and gatekeeps and has the same rules as a government would. So anarcho-communism is kind of an oxymoron when you think about it. It's just anarchy, no government, and then communism, which is all government. It doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know how much like explaining you could do to make it make sense, but it's just it's like the water is wet thing. It just, you could make a logical explanation of that, and it all delves down to like just personal opinion on what that would be, and everybody's got their own flavor of it. Because everybody has their own flavor of it, what makes you think that yours is the best? And that's pretty much. And you haven't convinced me, so it didn't. It's probably not the best idea, and I will leave it at the Real Boy 67 Dream. Petey, noodles are good. Noodles are good. I appreciate the drive, the desire of the noodles. And that's something that transcends all cultures. Noodles came from Asia. Those damn Westerners took it and put tomato sauce on it, marinara. Those bastards. And they're scummy, shitty people. That's pretty much it. Can't share any cultures. Everything's got to be segregated, right? Like you're let's have our own little cubbies of communities. Like, but not call them states. They're just different communities of people that could coexist. Cuz that's in a commune you'll have at least 10 to 30 people that could peaceably coexist. Not everybody's going to. And once you get more, then that tribe grows to a county. That county becomes a state. That state becomes a country. Inevitably, that's what happens That's just how people work. There has to be somebody that does the litigation for everything that goes on in a dwelling of a mass number of people. Was created in the 1918 Pearl Harbor War with Japan. Ramen noodles was made in Pearl Harbor. I did not know that. It's a myth that communism is about states, and communism not only one idea. There's a bunch of very different ideologies within it that contradict each other. Therefore, it can't be something that's stable and long term. Next. Come up with a better idea. See, the thing is you're making an argument towards a theoretical thing that hasn't been proven to work in any iteration of any civilization in a peaceful way. It's always ended in massacre and genocide, actual genocide. Not just the buzzword of genocide, actual genocide. And mass extermination of people. Better idea now is sleeping because it's almost 8 a.m. Yeah, go for it. I mean, it's a hard sell for me. You gotta really like think. You gotta think outside of the university, because there's a whole world out there of different diverse people, not only of skin color, but of mind. People think differently, believe it or not. If everybody looks different, that's one thing. But if everybody thinks different, that's another thing. Focus more on diversity of thinking than diversity of skin color. And you'll live a less shallow life. And I really hope that you do. Because when you start focusing towards diversity of ideals, and you'll realize that how different people's opinions are. It's just crazy how we can come up with a system where we could coexist peaceably, and it's enforced unanimity is it's what communism kind of is, isn't that? Like it's just everybody kind of going towards this one narrow box, flatten the curve, nobody think outside of the box. It's like the most restrictive thing. But if you just say, let the free market reign, everybody decides, in a society of people, what's deemed to be worthy and what's not deemed to be worthy based on market value. And the market's determined by everybody, by the dollar. If it was only truly just the market and the country had true ownership of its own monetary system. If we had ownership of our monetary system, our governmental system would work. But that's the problem. I just need to go live in the mountains with my close people. Exactly. I would say you could do that in a free country. You can't force somebody of a free country to live the way you want to live. And that's selfish. That's it. It's selfish to impose that type of opinion on me. I might not want that. I might not want to live in the mountains that don't have good Wi-Fi. I can't do my Duolingos in the mountains because I want to learn Portuguese. And I'm going to spend a shit ton of... I'm going to be an asshole Republican for a sec. But granted, I laugh at the whole Republicanism thing because that's also... I agree with the sentiment that, the neocons have gone way too fucking far in just blowing up kids in the Middle East and just spreading their butt cheeks out for Vanguard and other weapons, arms dealing companies. But anywho, let me be a little right leaning as a counterbalance to what you're saying. I'm gonna get on an airplane in the summertime probably. I'm gonna romantic. It was made in Rome. It's all, the whole romantic era was for some fucking chick. How is that tyrannical? If anything, that's being a simp or an r/nice guy. And it's kept us going for quite a long time. Your mic. I know my mic. I'm yelling way too much. I gotta test the levels, I know. I often peak my microphone. It's a very sensitive mic. I do like this type of microphone. But the point is, why would I do anything ever? Seriously, like, and this is the territorial thing. It's a dude thing that I think guys understand. Like you it's like you have, and it could be men's fault, but I also see a lot of that tendency in women too. Like the Brazilian women are very territorial. I don't mean to generalize, but that's something that I was told. So it's in human nature. It's not just a sex, but as a dude, it's like if you have your things and your stuff and your woman and your ooga booga. It's like we're cavemen. We're hardly out of the jungle. Ooga booga, this is my stuff. This is my Charmander. This is my Pikachu, my laptop, my 11 rack, all this stuff. And there's just a level of peace and comfort you have with that. If you enforce that via communism, give up your freedoms, give up your belongings towards this standard that you would impose on to a epic proportion that like Buddhist monks can't even do consistently enough. You know, they're like focused all about eliminating all desires. Yeah, that's a great ideal to have. But not everybody's gonna want to go along with it. There's more to life. There's some reasons people want to like be on a fucking jet ski and like, you know, be one of those like douchebag turtleneck Ponzi schemers scamming people of their fucking money for the sake of the Church of Scientology, and just fucking bitches on a giant yacht that you'd like blow 10, 11 grand on for like each, for like 6 people just to rent it out for a day to impress some chick. It's because there's some deep biological evolutionary trait that's in all of us to impress somebody of the opposite sex, and it's gluttonous, it's capitalistic, and it is. There's no way. And don't get me wrong, it's gluttonous, it's lustful, there's a lot of greed in there. But in that, everybody's got a vice. Everybody's got a vice. Everybody. I binge eat. I'm trying to make a goddamn difference of my whole freaking life by doing this whole YouTube channel. This is for me, but it's also to inspire others out there. There could be a double positive. Maybe this could get me monetization. That'd be great. But, you know, maybe it could help somebody along the way and inspire them. That's also great. Just because something's capitalistic doesn't always intrinsically mean that it's evil. Just because something is patriarchal doesn't always necessarily mean that it's always going to be evil. Sometimes having a father figure, sometimes having a strong macho husband figure is necessary to keep society going. Because otherwise it's like, what do you have left? If you don't have a guiding force to keep society going, then you don't have plumbing. And where am I going to take a shit? Outside? That's gross. That's unsanitary. It's going to get in the river, and then I'm going to get dysentery, and it's going to be just like fucking the ancient aqueduct system in Rome. Not to mention they had lead in those pipes, so Rome wasn't perfect, but it was better off than most at that time. So yes, Europe has its evils, but don't like fuck their dad and like jizz on their grandmother's chest and like eat their dog about it. Just appreciate the fact that they're trying to make it better, because now they're in a state of like, okay, we're realizing the flaws that we've imposed on the rest of the world. We won. Now we have to make things right. And if you guilt people like me, who look like me, till the end of fucking time, there's going to be resentment. And it's like, okay, well then, go ahead. Like, there are going to be people out there that are just going to say, you know what? Fuck you. Fight your own fights. Toil in your own bullshit. I don't want to deal with it. If you're gonna be a pain in, if you're gonna give me such a hard time about this, I don't know. That's my whole point. But don't blame me. Don't blame white people or some unknown spooky oogie boogie thing known as capitalism and try to remedy it with a failed system that has already failed, even though the universities try to propagate to you that that it just hasn't been done right yet. Okay, I haven't written a song in the Locrian mode right yet. It could be done, but you're basing everything around one realm of thinking, because that's what you're subjected to. It's kind of like playing a Pokemon team in which you want to have a gimmicky play. Like, you just, for some reason, you want like I don't know, what's a gimmicky Pokemon? Like Magikarp. Like you have Magikarp out and like you're down one Pokemon and you set up all these baton pass maneuvers and things like that, and let's say it's Gen 8 and you're down to one Pokemon and you have a Magikarp. It probably has Swift Swim and also, like whatever water type move it has access to. I forget its move pool. But then it's like it's down to one Pokemon and the opponent's going to attack you with like a one shot because it's a fucking Magikarp. So what do? You Gigantamax into Splash, which will be Max Guard, which is like is the Dynamax version of Protect, and then you could be invulnerable for one round. Then you get the upper hand in finishing them off. It's such a specific strategy to accommodate for that dumb Pokemon. Like, that's what you would try to impose with a governmental idea like communism, anarcho-communism. You need to pull out everything around what how people just normally operate around the one stupid idea, the one stupid gimmicky idea. I appreciate the creativity, but you can't experiment with people's lives. You can experiment with art, you can experiment on yourself, you can experiment with yourself and other people, but you have to be responsible for those other people. But no way in hell can somebody bear the responsibility of 8 billion people. It's just not possible. There's not enough life sentences you could take for the crimes against humanity you would commit. I'm going to digress from there because it's almost been like almost 2.5 hours. He has 50 HP, 1 ability, and he does no damage. You can make Magikarp work, though. My point is you can make Magikarp work like you can make communism work, but it has to be under specific guidelines. And the thing is in a Pokemon battle, you can meet those specific guidelines because it's only dealing with 2 people. When it's government, you're dealing with 200 million people, or 10 million people, or more than 2, So, there's your governmental geopolitical discussion for today. Water. What do I need, water? I don't know what that means. I'm such a dweeb. Okay, so this has been mostly about geopolitics. And, oh, it looks like our streak is gone. Should I stay on? Do you think I could do another day? Is anybody still on here? Do we still have some viewers? We got the real boy. Water. I could do another lesson, and I could change the title of this and just take the next day off. All right, we got Chini. All right, well, I could do a double day. I don't necessarily do the double day. You know what? I think I'll end it. I'll make a... I want to keep this a consistent nightly thing because I think it's important to... yeah, I need to get to bed too. I'm still here. Notice me. The fish, do you want me to stay? We'll do a vote here. The fish, Chiniru, the real boy. I'll stay maybe for one more lesson. Actually, you know what? I'll save it for tomorrow, because I override it. I'm the dictator here. Speaking of politics, I think I want to save the double XP for tomorrow for 30 minutes. I'm tired too. I'm fading. Why can't I see the fish messages in the chat? Because I'm multi-streaming on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, and Trovu. Also X and Trovu, X, DLive, Twitch, and YouTube. The fish is on YouTube. So that's why. All things created in the name of capitalism. We're communicating right now in the name of capitalism. The crimes against humanity that have been done in order to accommodate this stream, I have nothing to do with. I'm taking advantage of the certain point, the advantage that I've been given, not as somebody who's not based on my skin color or race or ethnic background, but it's based on, the decisions that my ancestors made in working hard and going to a country that actually has wealth, taking the best decision, or making the best decision that they thought they could make, and bettering the next generations of their offsprings, which is always in human nature. DeFish, do you know Twitch is way better? So cheery, I said hi. Or Chini, I said hi. What's up? Yeah, DeFish says hi. Twitch isn't better. It's not even like... See, like, you can't even hold yourself to your own standard. Like, why are you online if you don't agree with anything that supports capitalism? Sleep on that, Maybe the mountain living is great. It's a good idea. I had a friend who considered being a Tibetan monk and just joining a monastery. Maybe you should do that. And I'm not saying that to be a condescending jerk either. It might be better for some people. I knew a trombone player that was going to do it if being a competitive Magic the Gathering player or trombonist didn't work out. So I'm pretty sure he shaved his head. He had long, glorious head, too, from Norway. Was he? No, he's Swedish. He was Swedish. Never mind. I always get all that mixed up. But anyways, the real boy says I'ma just sleep. And I think I'm going to sleep, too. This has been a long-winded episode of the Petey Aprendendo Português. And it is well... because of our society, like, you can't guilt average people in the capitalist system. I'd say capitalist system invented all this fine, fancy technology, and I'm thankful for it. And the capitalist system also allowed the real boy to get a foot long for $3.99. So, America. 1,253 days on the day streak. Thanks for helping me keep the flame going and helping me keep it alive. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Yabba do. And you know, if you don't want to be too in the you don't want to be too much in the in crowd of things to come in terms of technological advancements, then I understand. But it has been 1,253 days on the day streak. And as always, obrigado por assistir. Boa noite. Ciao, ciao for now. Take care. Até próxima.
You